So there's a guy in here, Saintaholic. I think he makes videos talking about you. I think he's probably here trying to find some videos to talk shit. And his comment in here was,
I was just born a gift to the world. With hard work, it showed. But I mean, I was born like this.
I swear to God, I used to drive down the street, see a black guy, throw him a banana. I was a crazy.
Hey, what's up?
3 million Epstein files were just released. You know what the crazy thing about that is? Is that every single powerful man on the planet was either on the list in the island or on his way there, except me. How did they forget about me?
What the fuck? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you, my nigga?
I'm true. If I was not, I would die. 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 If I was not, I would die.
I'm gonna fucking explode.
Everybody my whole life counted on me to figure out, is there danger around or is there no danger? Have you ever been next to a fucking bus that was blown up?
No.
No. I have. Have you been at a restaurant that was blown up?
No.
No.
Again,
I have.
You could live to be 1,000. I know I will if they're not gonna kill me. But I understand the body. Most people don't.
Somebody, let's say, like John Jones. Would I fight him? Yes. Stand up with John Jones? I'll destroy him. So if you told me 6 months from now you're training to fight John Jones, I feel like I'm gonna go and kill him.
Now, today, I realized that every woman that I've ever been with was like half a dude. I came to teach you a fucking lesson. But if you don't accept me as the fucking hero, I'll come back as the villain any fucking day.
Well guys, I've got a really fucking special one cooked up for you today, because we are back once again with the Steven Seagal of the AMU, and what's gotta be the dumbest alpha male on the planet, the one and only Bend Over Azoulay.
Okay, what's up with Bend Over?
And you see, little old Bend Over here is about to be pretty upset and angry because we are naturally back once again with part 3 of Bend Over Azoulay's most ridiculous and just downright fucking stupid quotes and stories. And we're back a whole 7 months later from part 2. And in part 1 and 2 of this little dumbass series that we've developed on the channel, we basically started off with learning a whole lot about Azoulay's childhood, where he was making up all types of just stupid and ridiculous shit to make himself seem like he was a badass from day one, and went all the way up into his early adulthood. And we're gonna end up starting off in basically around the same place as we did in those videos, with his new childhood origin stories that he has created for himself, and build all the way into the present where the guy's just lost his damn mind. So with all of that being said, we're just gonna hop straight on into this shit show and start off with our very first category of the video, which would be the one and only Bendover's childhood. And Bendover has been doing a whole lot of podcasts where he has mentioned his childhood in damn near every one of them. And usually when this goober does this, he'll normally start off by basically making his 5-year-old self sound like a damn ninja. And he'll try to make it seem like that even though he was a child, he was one of the most badass children to ever step foot on the damn earth. And he'll usually begin with this type of approach right here in these clips before developing into some downright ridiculous horseshit.
As a child, I've always loved pain. I've loved chaos. People didn't understand why. I was doing push-ups as a 5-year-old. Well, I was shredded as an 8-year-old. Had the traps, the forearms, the tricep, the bicep, the chest. My dad took me to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "What are you doing? You're feeding this kid steroids? Why does he look like this?" And they're like, "I don't know. My son just constantly does push-ups, sit-ups. He goes for runs. He like climbs mountains, climbs the trees, goes on top of my roof. I don't know what to do with this kid."
That's too funny.
And you have a soul. Well, within time, I realized that I have a soul that is higher than my body,
Right.
higher than my existence. And my soul felt very claustrophobic in my little body.
It's called tohu.
Toho?
Tohu means chaos.
And me, I'm just somebody that has a higher soul. As a young boy, I'll always jump off the walls, do karate, do flips, do this, do that, do push-ups, climb in mountains and trees, and people would find me just at the top of the tree, looking at a big-ass nest, you know, checking out the view. I had a higher soul than my body, and I was always all over the place.
And as you can tell, it repeats a lot of the same bullshit, where this guy thinks he was a baby Tarzan, just out here climbing up everything and anything, climbing mountains, climbing trees, jumping on the roof, and being so ripped that the doctor thinks he is taking steroids. And he develops it into some of the most ridiculous horseshit stories that you could possibly think of. And these stories will basically bounce all over the place, where in some of them, he was a second grader who almost killed a high schooler, so he already knew that he was just a natural born killer when he was in grade school.
I remember when I was in second grade, I nearly beat a high schooler to death. The boy's mother wanted to press charges. That's how I found out I was a real killer.
And if being a hardened second grade killer wasn't already just ridiculous enough, he really ramps it up sometimes and really needs to take it to the next level. And in some stories, he apparently was going to the cemetery when he was young and speaking to the dead. And we're not talking about, talking to a grave or tombstone, but instead talking to spirits and learning things. And in his mind, apparently, he was just a fucking medium or some shit.
At a very young age, I knew I was special. My mother used to find me at cemeteries. I used to speak to the dead. I used to see ghosts. Used to have conversations with them. I knew I could connect to things that most people can't. I saw the living and the dead. I felt the dead. I spoke to the dead. And I understood that at some point, our body will perish and our soul will walk the earth. That made me understand that I should never fear anything. And I should understand that the world is purely for one reason only. And it's to create the correction. And you're here to suffer. And if you accept the suffering, whenever you'll have a good moment, you'll be so ecstatic.
So not only did we have one story of him being a killer, and in another, he was just out here talking to ghosts, but along with these, at the age of 9, he apparently almost became an astronaut as well.
At the age of 9, I almost went to space. So I actually had uncles, and they used to work for an old airspace facility, and one day I wandered off in their job. I ended up slipping past a gate, and I walked right towards the test capsule. I climbed up inside. Next thing you know, the whole thing started to lift up. Finally, some of the workers spotted me, and they were yelling to stop the line. I probably would have been way up there if they didn't get me in time.
So obviously, he was just having one of the most eventful childhoods of pretty much all time. And it was just a whole lot of over-the-top bullshit, and it seems that as he continued to age, it didn't get much different, and only continued to get more and more ridiculous. Because according to good old Bendover here, he was also just a ladies' man at the age of 13. And I mean shit, ever since he was a young boy, he apparently was just dodging all of his family members' titties.
I remember when I was a little boy, between my mom and my aunts and everybody, I had to just dodge everyone's tits all the time as a little boy.
Which I don't know why he decided to give us that little lore drop, like it was something to brag about. But when he turned 13, he also has this little story that he is told on a consistent basis whenever he gets the chance to, where he claims that he was out here dating women who were 30 years and older, and just continued to get even more ridiculous with it as it went on, where he added more and more different details that just somehow made it even more unbelievable.
And I kind of miss being poor, because when I was poor, I wouldn't pick her up with a Rolls Royce. I would tell her that my car was impounded when I was like 13 years old. Like, well, my license got suspended and my car got impounded, and they would come pick me up from my house, from my parents' house. And when I bring them up into my house in the middle of the night, and the girl is like 28, 29 years old, and she's coming to see me, and I'm like 13, 14. I'm like, shh, my roommates are sleeping. Please don't make noise. And that was my parents in the other bedroom. But because I was big, because I worked out, because my mind thought like a mature man, it was so funny because these girls would believe that I'm like 25, 26 years old and I was 13. When I wanted to get my first girlfriend, I remember I was like 12 years old, 13 years old. I went and I just walked up to every single girl that I thought that was cute and started talking to her. And I was a little player. As a young man, I was a little player. Holy smokes. I had so many girls. It was crazy. And they were all crazy about me because I started working out at a very young age. So I also looked older. And some of the girls that I was dating was much older than me, like much older than me. I remember at one point I dated this girl named Natalia. She was like 34. I was like 14. And she had 4 kids that I didn't even know about. She was like a famous singer from France. And I was like, I didn't know she had kids, which was crazy to me, that I found that out later. And I also told her that my car was impounded and I don't have a license because it was taken away because I drove too fast and blah, blah, blah. And the truth is, I didn't have a license. I was like 13 or 14 years old. And when I would bring her over, I'd have her come in at night when everybody's sleeping. And I'd be like, shh, my roommates are asleep. Please don't make any noise. And she'd be like, okay. I never bring her over at daytime. It was only at nighttime, in the middle of the night. And I was like, my roommates are asleep. Shh, be quiet. Next thing you know, it was my parents that I'm talking about, my little brother. So funny times.
And I don't know what kind of stupid motherfuckers are out here believing this type of shit, but he really wants you to think that he was just this 12 to 13-year-old that was out here pulling 30-year-olds by convincing them his car was impounded, and then he had the audacity to take them back to his parents' house where he acted like his roommates were sleeping. And not only does he want you to think that, but he also thinks that we're gonna believe him when he says that one of them was over 30 years old, was a French singer, and had kids. Like, I don't even know why you would make this type of shit up. There is actually just no reason to do this. He could have just said he was 18 and it would have been slightly more believable. Well, I guess he couldn't have said that because, you know, he was in jail when he was 18 for the whole 15-year-old thing, but you get the point. So not only did we have a hardened second-grade killer who was speaking to ghosts and almost going to space, but he then turned 13 and was pulling hella pussy that was triple his age. And he has continued to just add more and more to these stories, where in some of them, when he was 17, he was apparently in movie scenes where they were convincing him to run down the street naked.
Right now I'm going to the movie industry. Like, I was a stunt double for Steve Gutenberg in a movie called Corner. So they wanted me to do like a shot of me running with my butt cheeks hanging on the street. And they offered me a lot of money. Yeah, they offered me like $100K. Well, and I said, oh, okay, yeah, Steve. They wanted me to run on the street with my butt off. I think I was like Silver Ken.
And around that same time, even though he was apparently an actor, he also makes the claims that he was this badass, hardcore gangster. And not only was he apparently just this cool-ass gangster, but he was also known as the Kid, as he put it. So the guy's just pulling straight from movie lines at this point, while the podcast host is eating it up like a dumbass. And he apparently was just such a badass that he was well known by pretty much everyone, and would be the one called in when somebody needed to be scared or handled, because he was apparently out here making people literally piss their pants.
I was a fucking gangster before I got charged with a rape case. I was a fucking gangster. People were so fucking afraid of me. I was a menace to society.
Were you extorting, robbing, all kinds of stuff?
You can't even imagine.
Really?
They used to call me the Kid. I was the most dangerous motherfucker out there.
Real quick, just for the beginning, was this are you from Israel or are you from California?
I was born in California. You already know real gangsters come from California.
Of course, yes.
They don't come from anywhere else. Real gangsters.
There's some Israeli gangsters, though. You know there
come
is.
From California.
Well,
Yeah,
from California.
but they came to California and then all of a sudden they're gangsters, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Israeli gangsters. The reason you don't hear about them because they're smart. I was like a bodyguard to one of the top guys in the Russian mob. I got into a fight with some of his guys when I was 16. He hired me. I was his bodyguard. I was doing underground fights. He was betting on me. Everywhere he would go, I would be in the front. I was a kid. They used to call me the Kid. I was the kid that you don't want to come around. There was gangsters here in town from Israel. There were Kiesh people left and right. When I came around, they walked away. They were pissing their pants. They ran to the fucking bathroom. I'm talking about this real kid right away. I would step up to all of them, 20 guys. Each one of them got blood on their hands. At least between all 20 of them, they own their own cemetery. When I step up, quiet. Nobody speaks. Which one of you? Come outside for a second. I want to talk to you. No. And it wasn't me. No, it wasn't me. Because in 1 second, they're all gone. It was just that switch that I had. At the age of 19, I did my birthday in jail because at the age of 18,
Obviously, like I said, I was a menace to society.
I explained to them when I was younger, I used to walk into a room and everybody would fear me. There's a reason for that. Not because I'm somebody that everybody should fear, but I was like a menace to society. I went through hardships as a young boy. I personally felt like everybody was against me. So when I walked into a room, I stared everybody in the eyes. If they kept their eyes on me, we would fight. If they are serious men, it could turn into something completely different. If they put their eyes down, I continued to go have my lunch. When I was a gangster, everybody knew who Ben Azoulay was. Ben Azoulay wasn't just a name. I turned it into a statement. I used to have people call me and say, listen to me, if you ever mess with me, I'm going to break your face. He said, who the fuck are you? Do you know who you're calling? And he says, listen, I don't care who I'm calling. If I'm going to call Ben Azoulay, he's going to come kill you. You better watch out. He's calling me because I, at some party, gave his buddy a smack, and he thinks he's a gangster, and he's calling me. He doesn't know I'm Ben Azoulay. That's funny. I used to show up to places and tell people, move. And he tells me, who are you going to tell to move? You don't know my brother Ben Azoulay. He's going to come destroy you. People used my name on me.
Wow.
They didn't even know what I looked like. Ben Azoulay was a statement. Ben Azoulay arrived, everybody walked. And my dad told me, if you're not going to be a fucking killer, you're not a real man. You need to be fucking cold-hearted. My dad kind of wanted to turn me into an enemy. That's also why he would beat me. Anytime if I turned my back to him, he'd kick me. But then he started to get even angry with me. As I started to get older and started to get stronger, he wanted to show me that he's more powerful than I am.
And somehow, with this downright clown, just being a Russian mafia gangster just wasn't enough for him. But he had to be the Russian mafia gangster. He, for some reason, had to create this image in his mind where he apparently was just John Wick out here and everybody knew his name. And if something needed to be handled, then they were going to use his name to threaten people in order to get whatever they wanted. So truly, it's just some of the most ridiculous shit that he could possibly come up with. And it's crazy that he is still actively out here on new podcast pushing this bullshit, acting as if it's true. But it's not where it ended, because we also get frequent stories from his time as a gangster, and somehow they are even more stupid than the shit you just heard. They somehow top this shit and sound even more ridiculous, and I don't know how the hell he does it. If anything, this downright moron is creative.
Guy looks at me and goes, what? So I got a little bit closer. I said, is there something you want to tell me? And he starts laughing. And I said, man, just stop staring at me. He came to walk away. And he looks at me and goes, what'd you say? I'm like,
did you take brave juice this morning? You feeling brave, huh? You feeling lucky?
and then I stepped up to him and I said, what? You ready for this? And he looks at me and he like backs away, but he kind of squares up. And then I said, exactly. Because he kind of squared up, but he kind of moved away from, the situation. And as I'm turning to walk away from him, he goes, what? What's up? So I squared back up and I went up to him and I went to knock him out. And the guy literally, you guys know the term, fight or flight. He fucking flew faster than I could see. He flew straight to the front of the front desk at the gym and told the guy in the front desk to call the cops because I'm going to hurt him. And as he was running, he was also screaming. And he hit him over the head with a brick and he falls on the ground and goes, please, please, please don't hurt me, please. But he was just about to beat the out of you. But because you hit him first, now he's a bitch. And then you look him in the eyes and you say, next time you're dead. Today is February 16. From now on, you're going to celebrate your birthday. You were just reborn. I gave you a new birthday. From now on, you celebrate it on this day because you were a dead man and I brought you to life. He looks at me. I'm God and I just gave you new life. From now on, this is your birthday. You hear me? He goes, yes. But once you have that taste that you hit somebody and they're on the ground and they're begging for their life, and you could take their life right now, and you feel the fear in their eyes, and you go, next time, you're dead. And you could see him almost pissing his pants or sometimes peeing his pants. That's a feeling that I cannot explain to anybody.
So yeah, not only was little old Bendover here just out here pressing people to such an extent that they ran away screaming faster than he could apparently see because he activated their fight or flight, which is already just stupid as hell on its own, but he's also out here giving people a new birthday because he is just such a hardcore gangster and bad motherfucker that he hits them once, they're down for the count, and he lets them know that he could have ended their life, but he chose not to. And today they need to celebrate their new birthday because, as he apparently just claimed, he is their god now. Like, the shit is so delusional that I don't even know what to say. And he even retells that story on multiple different occasions where it changes a little bit, and it even changed during this exact podcast.
I'm God, and I just gave you new life. He literally drove next to me, hit my car. I don't even know who the this guy is. I passed him, hold my e-brake, do a 180, stop right in front of him, right close, get out the fucking car, take my gun, break the window, hold him out of the fucking door, through the window, put him to the ground, cock my fucking Glock, put it to his mouth, and look at him. I say, you're dead. That guy pissed himself. I smacked him in the face extremely hard. We started to cry. I said, today, we're gonna celebrate your birthday. From now on, this is your birthday. You hear me? And I left. I would never shoot them for something like this, but I had to give them a new birthday. I was a young man. I was full of fucking rage.
So not only in this podcast did he go from talking about how he was giving people new birthdays and was just hitting them, taking them out, and letting them know what's up, but apparently he felt that it wasn't badass enough and he needed to add to it and went into some straight up Fast and Furious bullshit where he was pulling the e-brake, doing some crazy shit with a car, pulling out the blicky and bitch slapping him, before then putting the fear of God into it. So he must have really just been Billy the Kid out here in this bitch, just a complete badass, and was doing everything to push this gangster persona, even though at the same time as doing this, he apparently was also in Hollywood and was also in and out of jail. And then he was homeless at some point in there too. So he's just all over the place doing all types of shit at this point in his life. And the craziest part is, according to him, he wasn't the only gangster in his family, but instead, his entire family were also gangsters as well, and some of them were even working with Pablo Escobar.
My mother came through Mexico to have me here. When we arrived here and I was born, my uncle was working with
Pablo Escobar.
Two uncles. One told Pablo that the drugs that he sent him, it was confiscated by the Beverly Hills Police Department and it didn't arrive to him. So Pablo had people inside, checked, nothing was confiscated. My uncle was trying to rob him for $2 million worth of product.
So he sent
This guys, he kidnapped
one of my uncles, which he knew that didn't have anything to do with it, but it was the brother. He held him, and then until he found that brother who was about to run away to Israel, and he just blasted him with
they say 2,000 bullets.
My grandpa was a gangster too, and was a boxer. So crazy motherfucker. The whole town was scared shitless of my grandpa. And some people came, tried to shoot at him to kill him one time. Somehow, many bullets, nothing hit him. Crazy. So after that, people were like, listen, you can't kill this guy. You can't kill him, so just let him be.
Just deal with him.
Let him be. Let him be. You know what I memean?
Yeah.
But everybody knew my grandpa. And my grandpa was a tough motherfucker. My uncles are like that. You know, some of my uncles are like 6'5". I have an uncle that's like 6'10".
Jeez.
Big motherfuckers, you know? One looks like Shrek, like an ogre, huge guy. You see him, and they're all... And I have two sides of the family. One side was gangsters, and the other side were cops. But from my dad's side, I have an uncle that is in prison that nobody knows about. I've never even shared his name. He's the biggest gangster in Israel. In the history of Israel. I've never seen him, never talked to him. I never knew he was my family.
So he's been locked up since you were...
No, he's been locked up for a few years now, but I think he's got like 50 years in prison. But if he says tomorrow in the prisons in Israel, nobody eats, everybody's fasting. Everybody's fasting. In all the prisons, everybody's fasting. He was like a Pablo Escobar.
So clearly, even more delusional bullshit, where apparently one uncle was taken out by Pablo Escobar where they shot him 2,000 times, which seems to be a little bit fucking overkill and pretty damn unlikely. But he also has one in Israel who is controlling all of the prisons and is basically the Pablo Escobar of Israel. So we're just making up all types of bullshit at this point. And that's where we're gonna bring his new gangster segment to an end, because he's just repeating all of these different stories a variety of different ways. And And this is where we're going to get a little bit more to the present, where we get into Bendover's present mindset. And instead of reflecting on all the different stories he's telling, we're going to look at some of his quotes, where the guy has gotten so delusional that he has convinced himself that he is the Messiah and is half God. And this was an idea that started to be built in him as he was kind of talking about his gangster bullshit, where he felt like that when he was punishing people, it was influenced by God, and God was making it happen, so he was just the messenger or the deliverer of that punishment.
If I came to punish you, I wasn't a bad guy. But if I came to punish you, God sent me to punish you. It means that you have done something before for me to show up at your front door. You've done something. I'm just a fucking punisher. That's all it is. I've never hurt a good man in my life. And the problem was never between me or any fucking terrorists. The problem wasn't between me or him. It was between God and him. I just arranged a meeting.
And this delusional bullshit has manifested itself into where we're at now, where the man is actually just claiming that he's the Messiah, claiming that he was speaking with God and God was giving him these prophecies about if the earth makes it to 6,000 years, it's gonna explode, and all types of horse shit. Like, the man's genuinely lost his damn mind.
Christians write to me that I'm the Jesus Christ of this time. When I hit 32, God spoke to me. He said, okay, retirement is over. I need you to go back in there. I need you to guide them. And then he told me one more thing. This is going to shock the world. He said, I don't want to tell you, but the Messiah is here. I asked him, what Messiah? He said, the Messiah that everybody speaks about. He asked me, do you know how old the world is? I told him, billions of years, they say. He said, it's about 6,000 years. The Messiah will arrive by the time it will be 6,000 years, or your world will explode. The Messiah is here and wants to reveal himself. I need you. Then he gave me some calculation that I never looked up. He said Adam and Eve were the first humans. He said 2,000 years later, I gave you guys Abraham. He said 2,000 years after that, I gave you guys Yoshua. And that was 2,000 years ago. And tears came to my eyes as he was speaking to me like I'm the Messiah. And all of a sudden, people start messaging me that I am the Messiah. And Christians write to me that I'm the Jesus Christ, Yoshua of this time. I was shocked that people wrote this to me. He said, what did they see in me that I don't even see? 6,000 years ago, it was the first people, which was Adam and Eve. That's when they came. Like, if you look back in time, Adam and Eve was 6,000 years ago almost. After Adam and Eve, 2,000 years later, came Abraham. 2,000 years after Abraham came Jesus Christ, which was Yeshua. How long ago was Jesus here? 2,000 years ago.
2,000 years ago, exactly. Yeah, because we're at 2,000
years ago, right?
We're at 2,025 years ago.
Exactly. Now we're at 2,000 years later.
And that's the 6,000 year mark.
That's the 6,000 year that the Messiah is supposed to be here. And the Messiah is supposed to reveal himself.
Are you the Messiah?
I'm not going to share with you, but someone is. Someone is the Messiah. And I get a bunch of messages of people going, did you know you're the Messiah? Crazy.
Right? No, it is crazy. Yeah. Real life philosophy, bro. I'm not even joking. Like, what fucking planet did you come from, dog? It's like a fucking philosopher for real, this guy. What the fuck?
So
what planet did you come from, bro?
I can't tell you. I can't share everything.
I guess not.
I can't share everything because if I do share, people literally, they message me and say, you're the Messiah. You're the Jesus Christ of our time.
You're a reptilian.
And I don't know what kind of fucking philosophy this dumbass right here has ever seen or learned about, but this is not philosophy, this is pure delusion. This is a man who is actually claiming that he is the Messiah and is making up shit constantly and has convinced himself of his very own lies. And it's gotten to the point now where right before I made this video, he has become so delusional that it's becoming dangerous to the people around him and to himself, where he's driving in his car like a maniac, not looking at the road and just staring at the camera and talking about how he's half man, half God, and how he just doesn't care anymore. And you can even see in his eyes that the guy is genuinely crazy. And it's people like this dumbass podcast host who are just glazing, getting on his knees and sucking away that led to this right here.
I don't give a f*** about anything. I don't even give a f*** about watching the road. You have to understand, I'm not a man. I'm half man, half God. God put me on this planet to change you, to help you improve. I'm f***ing driving right now 90 miles on the f***ing freeway. I don't give a f***. I'm watching you. You know why? Because God is watching me. Take a look at this. See the sweat? I don't need to do this. King Azoulay is not just a name. It's a fucking status.
So obviously, his little I'm God arc is just in full swing and is going wild. And the man's apparently a status, he said, as he's playing with his arm sweat sitting on the top of his car. And it's just some insane work. And this isn't the only goofy-ass arc that he has entered in present time, because he also ended up entering kind of a racist arc, where it started off with him just making some mild racist jokes and telling some stories like, oh, these black guys were jumping a Mexican or something, and he comes in and hits them with a stick.
I mean, I know they're my parents, you know, that's black and white, but...
How many blacks don't?
Hey, King.
What's up?
You have any good jokes about black people that black people won't get offended by?
Yeah, of course. You know what's the difference between a black man and Batman? Shit. Yeah? I like it, man. He asked me for a black joke. I'm giving him a black joke. You know what's the difference between a black man and Batman? What's the difference? Batman could go out at night without robbing.
When I was like going out in Hollywood as a young man, we'd see guys, 4, 5, 6 black guys jumping a Mexican guy. He's on the floor and they're all stomping it. So I used to get very upset, take a stick, start beating the f out of them. While they're beating up another guy, all of a sudden the guy gets hit in the back of the head split open, is on the floor, completely gone. The next guy, if I need to pull out a knife, stab the Mexican. If I see evil, I'll take it off your head.
And all of this ended up evolving into him just going on a couple of different racist rants during a recent podcast, where he was talking about how he got jumped by 30 black guys and he ended up hating black people and he used to throw bananas at them in traffic and shit. And then somehow turned into him talking about how the IQ in Africa is lower than a gorilla, which I don't know why he had to choose that animal of all animals. But he, of course, just kept on going and kept on trying to prove his point as the podcast host is just sitting there listening, probably not expecting this shit to just come out of nowhere.
When I was 13, I got jumped by 30 black guys. After that, I hated black people. I was the most racist motherfucker ever. I was like, monkey this, monkey that. You know, see them fucking running. I swear to God, I used to drive down the street, see a black guy, throw him a banana. I was a crazy
What?
I gave them first chance when I was 11, and my best friend, Tyrese, stole my phone. 6 months later, I see him with my phone. I'm like, this is a custom phone. He's like, no, I bought it. I was like, motherfucker, boom, beat the fuck out of him. Then after that, I started hanging out with a gang called BOP, Ballin' on Point. I used to hang out with them. All of a sudden, all they wanted to do is robberies and go beat up people and jump people. And I was like, I'm fucking out of here. You guys are a bunch of fucking losers. And then after BOP, I went to a fucking party and I got jumped by 30 fucking black guys. You know? Like, these guys, for some reason, they're not meant for high society places. But as I got older, I started to have some black friends, which I started to give some opportunities to more black people in my life. And within the last, I would say 5-6 years, I've had more black friends and black bodyguards. And we're cool and they're good people. But I tell them, you guys are coconut. You know what is a coconut? White on the inside, black on the outside. You know? You're a coconut. But it's crazy to me. I looked this up, and you guys could look it up too. Do you know what's the IQ level of a silverback gorilla?
Don't know.
90. Do you know what's the average IQ in Africa?
What?
60.
So this was already just some crazy work and some crazy quotes coming from little old Bendover here. But he was not done. No, he was just getting started with the racist bullshit that he decided to come out the gate with. Which, keep in mind, was just out of nowhere and for absolutely no reason. And he then just starts yapping on about white supremacy and how it was black people who created that term, before then trying to talk about how smart white people are and how they invented water and all types of goofy shit.
People say, oh, you know, whites call themselves white supremacists, like they're above blacks. I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's the blacks that called whites white supremacists. Because the white man is the one that brought fucking water into his house. Or the fucking drain and the toilet to his house and outside to the fucking main lines. The black man couldn't do that. It's the white man who built the house. And the black man was like, whoa, this is fucking awesome. These guys are way smarter than us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not the whites who said we're white supremacists. It's not. It's actually the blacks who named them that. But the black people are like, oh yeah, they're saying they're above us. No, not saying they're above you. But clearly, the white people are smarter than black people. The lighter you are, the higher the IQ you have. It's proven. Even with Jews. The darker you are, the lower the IQ. Water is a myth of the white man who invented water in your bottle. Yeah. This is how smart they are. They literally take water that you can find anywhere, they put it in a bottle and sell it to you. They can sell ice to the Eskimos. They can do it all.
Yeah.
You know?
No, literally, yeah.
I mean, look at these.
Holy shit.
If you think about it, white people are the ones that invented Jesus Christ. Listen, I'm Moroccan. My IQ is 160. Somewhere around 162. Okay? I've checked my IQ level. It's around 162. Some came out 158, some 162. So right on those numbers. I'm Moroccan, but then I was like, how could a Moroccan have such high IQ? That doesn't make sense because we are darker. We're not the light ones. The ones that have the highest IQs are the Ashkenazi. The light skin. Yeah. You know, they're white.
Yeah.
They're like Polish, from Germany, you know.
Mix.
All mixed, Romania, all those areas. So they have the highest IQ, not us. But I checked, and somehow I'm also part Ukrainian, part Russian, which explains why the IQ levels are high.
And I mean, at the very least, he applied the logic to himself a little bit, even though it was just as stupid. He tries to give himself bonus points to his imaginary IQ because there's no way that shit is 160. We're probably dealing with like a solid 70 for him, but he tries to use the logic that because he has Russian and Ukrainian in him, that's what rose his IQ to such crazy levels. And even though up to this point, we have covered a ton of stupid quotes and just downright ridiculous stories from this man, we are still nowhere near done, because we have a few more topics that we have to touch on that he's been doing in the present, with the first one involving him basically just crashing out about all of the haters who aren't buying his bullshit. And a lot of the time, he's making typical insults, like saying people's mothers are ashamed of them or that they're living in their mother's basement, and just talking some crazy shit like this right here.
But your mother that loves you, she doesn't go around saying, oh, I love my son Michael. He's such a good boy. Those days are over. Your mother probably doesn't even speak about you. But your friend that doesn't like you, yeah, every time he leaves, he talks shit about you. But what about a hater? The hater really hates you. When everybody attacked me and literally tried to assassinate my character, do you think I cared?
Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm.
No. Do you think I give a that everybody went out there and wrote to me shit that most of you guys would probably hide behind your pillow and under your blanket and will never show your face again? But when they said that they're coming to kill me, I smiled because my plan worked. Your mother is crying behind closed doors because she doesn't know what her son is ever going to be, because he's jerking off, he's eating pizza, he's getting fat, he's lazy, he doesn't have a job, or the job that he has is keeping him like a sheep. He's going to be a nobody. And your own mother put her whole life, heart, and soul, blood, shed, and tears for you to get here. For what? To let her down? But your choice is to sit around and do nothing, play video games, hang out with friends and talk about nonsense. If you are hating, it's because you gave up on life and you gave up on yourself. And if you gave up on yourself in that life, the only thing left is to hate on others. Sitting there on your keyboard, talking shit. Come on. You have to back your shit to talk your shit. We all know that if you're in front of me, you wouldn't say that. So why would you say it over a screen? Behind the screen, you know, on a keyboard. Why would you say that? Why would you be a keyboard warrior?
And even though these are just entertaining on their own, because you can tell that he's clearly mad and upset, because people don't believe him when he says he's the Messiah, or when he went to space when he was 9, or any of the other horse shit we've covered. But there is one particular topic that has really affected Bendover and has really made him say just some stupid ass shit. And that would be the number 15. Because Bendover has been getting hit with "she is 15" over and over again, and it's led to him really crashing the hell out and getting mad and telling us all to go fuck our mothers. And when he's not doing that, he's trying to turn it into a joke, hoping it will have less impact. But nonetheless, it always just hits him hard as hell and leads to him saying some really out of pocket and disgusting things.
Oh, this 15-year-old girl, she was 15. Eat a cock, bitch. F everybody on the internet that says that shit. You guys are all a bunch of weak fucking men. All Me Too movement. And now what's left is some comments of loser men, low life, degenerate men who are saying she was 15. Go f your mother. And then come back and tell me she was 15. Damn, she was 15. Was she? Damn, how old was I? That's funny. You know what's funny, guys? Because we got almost 300 people on the planet. You know what's really funny? I'll tell you. I have 3 of the greatest memes. You're a nice guy. F students are the inventors, and you guys already know they are. And the third one, she was 15. She was only 15, Unc. She was only 15. For what? For your ass at home to sit there and tell me that, oh, you know, I beat the case? Fuck your mothers. You don't understand what I've been through. You don't understand what I went through. And I still go through this every single day. I got fucked. Not you and not her. I got fucked. And if you're a man at home watching this, you better know a woman will fucking make you and will fucking break you. She will destroy your life. You just give her the opportunity.
And even though he tries to play the victim, tries to make it a joke, and then just ends up getting mad about it, instead of, you know, actually rebutting anything, he still just keeps on going with his bullshit, and keeps on making up things in regards to the whole 15 thing. And he has made some downright insane, disgusting responses that are arguably some of the dumbest things that this motherfucker has said, where he has told stories about how women say they wish they were there that day, and how mothers are trying to offer up their 15 and 16-year-old daughters to him so that he can marry them.
Some people on the internet say that
King Azoulay is a really...
Still get a bunch of DMs of asking me,
Where was I on that day? Couldn't you have touched me?
that's how girls are.
You wouldn't believe how easy it is. I have fathers who reach out to me and say, I have a daughter I want you to marry. I go, how old is she? They go, she's 17. But she will wait for you. She's in love with you.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
That's
what? Like, what? Is this real? There is mothers who reach out to me and go, I wish my daughter was a few years older, but I'm saving her for you. How old is she? She's 15.
I can't tell if you're joking right now. This is wild.
I'm not joking.
You serious?
I'm not joking. I swear to God.
Wow.
I swear. I have parents hit me up and tell me that they're saving their daughters for me.
Wow. That's assuming the kids aren't lying about being a virgin, though, too.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
And I have no clue why he would want to say this, or why that podcast host there at the end decided to throw in the whole, that's if they're telling the truth that they're a virgin thing, which is just insane to be saying because we're talking about 15-year-olds here. But it's a whole lot of bullshit. And I don't even know why he would want to do this to himself. And this is where we're going to kind of roll into our last topic, because Bendover has this obsession with the idea that women are obsessed with him and that he's had all these women and that he could have whatever women he wants, which is pretty funny considering that the only only woman he had. His wife left him recently, and he has gone out of his way to talk about how he was just this ladies' man and he was getting all of these different women so many times recently, and his whole entire present mindset is focused on him just being able to get as many bitches as he wants because he's bend over Azoulay and he's just got mad game.
I've been with more than 4,000 women in my life. I was a fucking animal.
Any woman wants me. Any woman that looks good, I guarantee you, wants a man that's either like me or me.
So I could get any woman that I want, and I always have. If I saw a woman that I like, she became my woman. I could easily be right now with 100 women. I have the money, I have the looks, I have the brain. I'm strong enough to also manipulate them. Teach me more about that. The truth is, it's too much work for me because there's greater things in life than for me to sit here and run 100 women like they're a bunch of my soldiers, you know?
I've been with many women, probably close to 4,000 women, and I could tell you,
Will
never
Chamberlain.
in my life did I pay for sex. And I don't need to. And if you'll work on yourself as a man, you won't need to as well.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, how you doing? And just my energy, she's like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just attracted to you, and I just want to suck your cock. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. You got it, baby. And I start holding so I wouldn't nut. And they get upset. They're like, how can you not nut? And I'm like, them for 2 hours and I'm not nutting. And they're like, why are you not nutting? I'm like, well, I just keep it in. I hold it. They're like, so are you even having fun? I said, am I not smiling? She's like, no, actually, you're not smiling. The whole time you look like a fucking beast. You know that you're a scared little coward sitting at home on your computer typing while I drive up my Rolls Royce, living in a fucking $12 million house, owning 100 different properties, traveling the world, doing whatever the fuck I want to do. Super fit, 6% body fat. That's me. That's me. Any woman wants me. Any woman that looks good, I guarantee you, wants a man that's either like me or me. Because we all know if your wife works as a waitress and King Azoulay comes in and I like her and I don't know she's married, I'm going to try to tap that. You know what I'm saying?
He's taking her
right?
home.
And if I'm single, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
or if she comes, works for me and now falls in love with me because of whatever reason. I'm caramel, you're white. She likes now caramel. She wants to leave you for me. No, I make sure to be the best. The best. So no matter what, my woman always wants me. And on top of that, your woman wants me too.
Wow.
Boom. Boom. Go to the fucking movies. Boom. Boom. At the movies, she's touching you. You're touching her. From there, you guys are cuddling. Now she wants to spend the night with you because she wants to hold you all night.
Because she's been on her third date in the same day.
That was the fourth date.
Well, that's the fourth now.
That's the fourth.
That's
but
closing the deal. That's closing the deal.
Yeah, in that date, I bring my jacket. I cover us. That's it. We're at home. So it's very easy to bring her back to the house. And that closed the deal. And I could do that every single day. When I want something, I get it.
And the best part about this delusion he has with women has built up recently into him going to a strip club and being so delusional that when all of the women there are coming up to him and dancing, he thinks it's because of how he looks and not because, you know, they're strippers and they're trying to get money from him. So the delusion just never ends with this downright goober.
By the way, see this sweater? I went to a club called 11 in Miami. Well, all the strippers there, and I didn't even know it was a strip club/club. It's just a club. You get a table, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of naked women everywhere. Well, I had to buy a sweater, so that way none of the girls will touch me. Because for some reason, when I had my guns out, they were like, "Oh my God, are those real? Are those 22s? I love those." I'm like, "Get away from me. What can we do? Buy a sweater."
And yeah, we are just at the pinnacle of delusion at this point, where this man has not only made up all of this different shit to the point where he is starting to believe it himself, but also convinced himself that he is the Messiah, that he is half God, and all of this other crazy shit, is going on random, multiple little racist rants, is pretending like women are obsessed with him, and of course, is mad about the whole she is 15 thing. And I have a feeling it's only going to continue to get worse and more ridiculous because he is just ramping it up more and more lately, as you can tell, and he is just out of fucking control. But with that said, this video is long enough, and I could have even added more clips, but I didn't want it to go over an hour. So for now, if you enjoyed, please drop the sub and a like, and join the Saints Mafia where we are flaming all of these alpha male fakes, and I'm out. with the third part of King Azulay's most ridiculous quotes and stories. And peace.
I could fight. I did boxing, I did kickboxing, I did Muay Thai, I did Krav Maga. I wanted to know it all. I did Kung Fu. I went into gymnastics. I did Capoeira. That gave me everything. So then I started training on Taekwondo and getting all these cool kicks. So now I have the speed, I have the strength, I have the control. And on top of that, I added some grappling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with weight training. That created like the perfect ultimate warrior.